Takeover is brought to you by My Safa Software. My Safa Software promotes effective and efficient football administration. We're joined now by the coach of Zizwe United, Coach Julius Dube. Coach, welcome to.
Yes, good.
Welcome, good.
Good.
Yeah. Coach, it's good to have a chat with you and just to catch up, looking at the current lock situation with the coronavirus. And maybe first, I must ask you, how have you been and your family during this difficult time?
Yeah, it's been frustrating, but it's okay. We're used to it now. At the beginning, it was really frustrating. The only thing that is frustrating now is that we want to go back to the game. We want to go back to work. That's it. Otherwise, I'm okay.
That's good to hear, and that your family is safe as well, because we've been experiencing some very difficult times, and I think that we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully things will become much better. Yes, Coach, I would like you. Where did it all start for you?
I think my career started just after retiring from football. I was a professional football player. Played for most of the teams in Durban, Golden Arrows, Amazon, and Manning Rangers. And I played for other smaller teams as well in the first division in United Lions. It started in 2003 when I became an assistant to Louis Professor Ngobane in the first division team that was called United Lions. And that's why it began as an assistant up until 20. I went with him to Thunder Real Zulu, still assisting him. And from Thunder we went to Chipa. And after Chipa, I think my career as a head coach started.
What has it been at Chipa United? Because I see you received a lot of head coaches there at the beginning of your career.
I think it was part of growth from my side. Working with a number of coaches. It was also preparing me for the challenges that coaches face. I started working there with Professor Ngobane and the late coach Roger Stakan. And after that, I worked with when Coach Prof left and we were promoted, I worked with Coach Ngobane as his assistant as well. So he just prepared me for the road ahead. It made me stronger and prepared me for the road ahead.
Yes, Coach, and I think that you did quite well at Chipa United, and you of course played at a bigger stage when it comes to the professional setup, and that also prepared you to go on your own, looking at the higher level in terms of competitiveness. How was that set up at the time at Bushbucks?
I think if you look at ABC Motsepe, because I was heading there when they were still in ABC Motsepe. I think the way the team was structured, that's what won the team promotion, because they were structured in a professional way, not just we were semi-professional, but we were structured in a professional way, and I think it assisted us to gain promotion. It was not easy, but the setup itself, it made it easy. It made me feel comfortable. Mind you, it was not my first time away, because I'm from Durban, I'm from KZN. I was away at Chipa as an assistant, which prepared me. From Chipa, I went to Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn Rovers, that's where it really started for me as a head coach, and the team was sold to Durban. And it didn't work out for me there. But I went to Mthatha Bucks, and I think the structure of Mthatha Bucks made it easy for us to gain promotion.
Yes, and I think we were all excited when you were at Mthatha Bucks, and we were looking forward to that promotion to the next tier, because you took them, from humble beginnings, and you kind of, with the players that you had at the time, you brought that vibe back into Mthatha.
Yeah, for me, it was good. It was history making, because they've like been longing to have a team in a professional, league in first division or PSL, and they've tried a lot of times to get Umtata Bucks back, and it did not work. But I think when I arrived and it worked, it was good for me. It was good for my CV. Wherever I've been, I try my best, to get the best out of the players, to make sure that the players are well looked after, because I have played the game as well. I know how the players feel when they are not well looked after. They hardly give you, 100%. So when the players are well looked after and you get the results, I think that's what has been working for me. But yeah, coming back to that one, I think I was happy at the end of the day. Although things did not work out the way I wanted them to work out when they first got into first division to us, I did not get a contract going into first division, but I promoted the team to first division. But it was a good feeling. It was to see the people of Umtata, the happiness that they had in them. Everyone around us, people were happy. As much as it did not end up in the way that I wanted it to end up. So, but I was happy that I'm part of the history of Umtata Bucks in promoting Umtata Bucks from Motsepe to first division.
Yeah, because you will hear in my introduction I referred to Bush Bucks, because when we hear the name Umtata Bucks, it brings quite a lot of memories. Which of course this is only Umtata Bucks and not Bush Bucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was
the
it?
names are late, but it's two different things.
Yes. Share with us, Coach, how difficult was it that you did not land that contract? Having made a team qualified for the next level or for the next year, and not seeing yourself forming part of that setup.
For me, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking, but I think in football, you must expect the unexpected. At times you get what you expect, but at times you don't get what you expected. So you must always prepare yourself for the worst. It happened. I was out. There was nothing I could do. I did not get the contract for first division. That was it for me, and it was heartbreaking, I must say.
Yeah, sure. And you find yourself having to, we understand coaches, they are well-traveled people, and coaches can move around from different provinces and moving to different clubs as well, but it solely depends on where your future takes you. And when you left Umtata Bucks, what was your next journey, and what did you set out for yourself, having looked at that project and you've achieved what you set out?
For me, I did not have to look back at that time. I had to gather myself again and look for the next appointment, and I think that's when the Zizwe appointment came, and sometimes when you're out of a job, you just maybe for a month or two gather yourself together and then get ready for the next journey, and that's what happened after that.
And it seems like you seem to be you seem to have your plans in place, because you also with Zizwe went into the playoffs. Take us through that, and because I understand that we watched a couple of games. This is quite a very difficult league to play in, the ABC Motsepe.
No, I was still saying, having traveled and working with different people, I was called by a guy called Mike, who was manager by then at Zizwe, whom I've worked with at Chipa. So he knew what I'm about, and he told me about the team, the goals of the team, and it looked like we were on the same line. And I went there. We sat down. Everything was done, and I flew back to get my things from home, and then I went back to Cape Town, and yeah, the rest is history.
And as you move to Cape Town, you arrive in Cape Town, and off you go with your project. Did you imagine that you would get to the next phase where you get into the playoffs, and looking at the difficulty of the first of all the league, and getting into the playoffs where you have to compete against the rest of the country, the 9 provinces?
Yeah, you at first you must always know that if you want something, you must picture it, and you must achieve it before you even start with it. Before I even left home, I knew it was going to be difficult in Cape Town, but I had that feeling that we will, be fighting for promotion. For me, I don't take no one lightly. For you to win the league, you must know that you don't have to take no one lightly. Bottom teams, top teams, team that people talk. What I was saying is that when you take the challenges of team that wants promotion, first of all, you must have that vision that you are going to win. You must take everyone serious. You must take each and everything. That's what I normally tell my players. Take each and every game very serious, because at times players tend to look at certain teams and say, we are going to get something easily, and you get there, you don't get things easily. So wherever I go, I try to make sure that we are serious about everything that we do. From training, we must be serious. From the games, we must be serious with each and every game that we play. And maybe that's why we hardly get negative results. If you look at this, even this season that we are in, the negative results that we got in the league, it has only maybe been draws. The team has not lost. Even in that season, we only lost 1 game. So it's very important to be serious about your project. You will end up achieving what you have to achieve.
Yes, coach. And you had to balance at some stage between the Nedbank Cup and the league. And take us through that experience of playing in the Nedbank Cup and having reached, such a high stage in the competition.
Yeah, it's a good feeling for the players, but at times players end up, being serious too much on the Nedbank Cup than the league. But I think this season we've been able to try and strike the balance. And what I've done is to make sure that I try and give the younger players more time to play, maybe at that age. Because we preparing them for the playoffs. Sometimes players, when they get there, they freeze. Stage fright. It becomes a problem. Everything that you have been working for, you end up not achieving it, and at the end of the day, you'll be looked at as a failure. But what we have done mostly this season with our team, we have tried our best to give the youngsters, because in this league you must have 5 under 23 starting. If you don't have 5 under 23 starting, then you have a problem. So we have given even these youngsters some experience, in the bigger stage, so that when we get into the playoffs, it's our main aim. When we get into the playoffs, they are ready, to deliver.
Yes, coach, and we've seen some of the, where they say there must be 5 under 23s, and you'll find that some coaches, because if you look at these leagues, it's a matter of survival, and a coach will play a player for 10 to 20 minutes, which is under 23, and they will sub them to having met the quota and also balance the, their experience. And how difficult is that? Are you someone who believes in the youth? And if so, you try to push that integration, so that you are not only prepared for the current season, but for the future seasons as well.
Yeah, it is a good exercise. I won't lie to you. It is a good exercise, but for people who are putting their money in, to get results and to get their teams promoted, it's a bit frustrating. It's a good exercise for development, but it ends up being not being a good exercise where you see coaches, as you were saying just now, substituting players, waiting for that first whistle, even shouting, kick the ball out because they want to change. I think in that manner, it kills the youngsters. But for the development teams, it is a good exercise. I think I was prepared in this exercise when I was still coaching first division, because there was a time when we needed to play 5, but they ended up reducing it to, I think it's 3 now. It was better for first division after it was reduced to 3. But for that, it's a bit. I don't think that I'm going to substitute in the stuff. I try my best. I get the best under 23, so that it's going to work. You can't play 10, 5 minutes. We put to kill them. It's not growing them. So, but if you have youngsters that are capable, I think it's better that way.
Yeah, coach. And the network seems to be failing us there again, but you're still around.
Yes.
Having looked at the current season right now, and there's a build up to the resumption of the league, and you're currently sitting at the top, and there's still a couple of games to go. What is the plan right now? And I mean, we understand that we're waiting for a go-ahead to say the league can restart, but it seems like there are timelines that have been proposed. How do you get the mentality of the players back into the game in preparing for the restart?
Yes, it's a bit difficult, that one. But what we've done is we've tried our best, to keep in touch, in contact with our players in this pandemic, trying to encourage them to, train, although it was individual training and it's not as where we push, players push themselves. When you play training by yourself, sometimes when you're tired, you say, I'm tired, and then the group, you can't just stop, you always push. But it's challenging for everyone. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it from the positive side, that it's a challenge for everyone. People are going to struggle. Everyone is going to struggle. When the time is right for us to start, we will start. I know the players are training individually. I know they are training, but from the clip that I've seen, they are going to get time to have something like weeks. If we get such time, I think it won't be interesting.
Coach, as we end this chat with you, what is a message that you have for the Zizwe United Football Club supporters and the entire football family, not only in the Western Cape but throughout the country?
The message that I can give to the Zizwe supporters is that we will be ready for anything that will come, our way. We want to finish the season on a high. That's all we can promise them. I've seen, some people saying that we may have maybe a month in preparation. I think that will be good enough for us. We should be ready. And to the football people at large, let us stay safe in this pandemic. Let us enjoy our TV, our football on TV. The PSL is getting finished now in First Division, and let's stay safe. That's all I can say. Our lives matter more than anything. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.